Hi guys, how you doing today? I'm doing great.
What's up, guys? Mind of Opex. It is Opex. You're listening to what's on my mind today. Today, I'm in Missouri, and I'm looking at all the grass. You know what? I don't know if you can really see it on camera. They don't cut the grass here. Some of these are 4 foot, 5 foot tall weeds, grass. And it got me to think. First off, I've always loved natural lawns, natural grass, weeds, everything growing the way it should. It looks more beautiful to me than that coating of trim. You know, just, it's like when you cut your hair into a buzz. I don't find that to be beautiful. It's actually cutting your beauty off. Whether you're guy, female, it doesn't matter. Same goes for nature. All the weeds and all the things that sprout up and all the plants and stuff, and it just look, you know, you see all the flowers and all the magnificence of nature growing the way it should. But when you trim your lawn, you cut out the majority of everything. And to me, it looks ugly. It looks like man just fucking up nature again. To me, you might like the look and the smell of fresh cut lawn or whatever your appeal is. Me, I like this a lot more. I even like walking through this shit more than regular trimmed grass. So basically what I'm trying to get at here is, in Missouri, it's more beautiful than if you went to another state and they're just trimming all the freaking grass. Of course, yeah, it makes a lot of money for the people cutting the grass. Some people think it looks more beautiful that way. I like everything natural, personally. It looks more beautiful to me. It seems right. It seems natural. And it leads me to what I actually want to talk about today. So, a lot of people cut their lawns, whether they cut it or pay somebody else to. If you were to cut your lawn yourself, you would either have to buy a riding mower or a push mower or both. And depending on the size of your lawn and what you have to go around, and then you have to weed whack and all that shit, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and you have to do it every week or so. You know, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on the weather, depending on a lot of things, the climate. And it's a lot of work. And then when you add the money factor into it, you pay for a tractor. That's $8,000 or whatever it is. I don't even know. And then you got to buy a riding mower, a weed whacker, and then you have all this labor for the rest of your life. I don't see the point to it when it just looks uglier, personally. Now, if you're trying to get rodents out and stuff like that, and you don't want snakes and critters, you know, of course trimming your grass is actually a good thing in that retrospect. Now, if you don't cut the lawn yourself, but you pay somebody to do it, that's just another payment for the rest of your life. You might not be working and doing it yourself, but you're paying $20 a week, 30, 40, 50, depending on the size of your lawn. Maybe you got 20 acres. Maybe that's $100. Maybe that's $200 a week. I don't fucking know. I don't even know what the going prices are. But that's a lot of money that you're spending the rest of your life. Me personally, I would never do it. There's a lot of places that, like, there's laws that you have to trim your lawn. Like in Florida, for example. I couldn't buy a house in Florida and have to always have an expensive upkeep of grass. That seems stupid to me in my mind. Now, I'm throwing you all these expensive numbers at you, and if you're doing it yourself, not only are you spending all this money to do it, you always got to buy fuel for the vehicles, and it's always just going to be expensive, and you got to do it every few days to every week to every couple weeks. It's a lot of work for the rest of your life, minus wintertime, depending on where you live. So, my thought process is, instead of having an expensive upkeep of grass, why don't you just grow food? It's much less work. It's much less expensive by thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and much less work. You don't have to do it every freaking week. And if you do want to check on your garden here and there, whatever. Grow fruit trees, things of that nature. Grow tomatoes, vegetables, have grapevines, whatever it is. Just turn your whole yard into food. Personally, I'm going to be doing this at my homestead when I get that underway, and I have my own land. I'm going to be growing a lot of food, like probably close to 20,000 to 50,000 pounds of food a year I'll be growing. So look at it this way. Instead of that expensive upkeep on grass, you'll be saving a lot of money, a lot less work, and you're going to have tons of fresh food. I don't see why somebody would rather pay somebody else or work on their yard the rest of their life every week and not reap any benefits out of it. I don't see that point. Of course, yeah, I used to mow lawns. I actually lived in the country a few years of my teenage life, and I would cut the grass. And we had like 20-something acres. That was a pain in the ass. You would mow with the tractor. You do one section at a time. One day is one section. It takes you an hour. Another day is another section. It takes you an hour. And 5, 6, 7 days out of the week, you're mowing and constantly just going all the way around. Almost pretty much 7 days a week. And then you also have the riding mower. You have the push mower, to get around trees and bushes and shit. And then you have the weed whacker to do a nice little finish. It's a lot of fucking work. Hour a day at least. And that's a 20-acre place. Even just if you have 1 acre or half an acre or something like that, it's still like an hour, of work that, is every week, every few days. You're not reaping any benefits except for, hey, check out my lawn. All my grass is dead because I'm cutting it short as fuck. And there's no weeds and stuff. Doesn't it look cool? Am I cool now? No. It's kind of stupid, redundant, ridiculous. If you grew food, spring starts up. Grow all your food. It takes you, a few days to grow it in terms of planting it, germinating the seeds, and it's not work in my eyes. It's almost like happiness. Now, some can argue that mowing your lawn is happiness. Some people use that time to drink a beer and meditate or whatever on your riding mower or whatever, and some people look forward to that time. That's not for me, but I understand. As an empath, I understand that could be your scapegoat. If you're dealing with shit at work, your wife's pissing you off, I don't know, and you want to go out and work on your lawn, that's your way of leaving that. I get it. But you could also have that time, instead of being in the riding mower and not accomplishing much other than your peace of mind, which there's plenty of other ways to do so, you could also use that peace of mind, time, quality, to grow a garden, to plant a tree. There's a Chinese saying, I believe it's Chinese, that says, the best time to grow a tree was 20 years ago, a fruit tree. The second best time is today. And the the reasoning that I'm trying to bring up growing food instead of lawns is because you're actually reaping benefits, you're saving money, you're saving labor, you're not constantly for hours a day messing around with your garden. I mean, once it's growing, you go around, you check something here and there. It's not hours of labor. And it's actually fun because you're actually producing things. And then those things that you produce, you can eat. You can give to your family and friends if you're in abundance. So, up until when supermarkets started coming about, and I'd say in the 1800s at least, and before then, 80 to 90% of the population was in agriculture. Meaning, everyone grew their own food. You might not grow potatoes, but somebody you know grows potatoes, and you might have carrots and other things, and you trade with it amongst each other, or you purchase it from other people, but it was always around you, and people did it because it was I might have just ran over a turtle, but I don't think I did. I think I missed him. That was weird. Anyways, so people would grow food. There's food everywhere. There's a lot of food in nature because people would Johnny Appleseed it. You know, well, the corner of my land this way, I'll grow this, and this side, I'll grow this. I'll have fruit trees all around, and then those trees, they drop apples, let's say, and then they grow other trees, either naturally or with the help of humans. And there'd be food all around us. Today, when you're driving, just look on the side of the road. Tell me how much food you see. You won't even see a blackberry bush anymore. I mean, unless it's on somebody's property. Well, technically it's all somebody's property now. But what I'm trying to get at is you don't see food anywhere. Up until 1920, there was no, I'm throwing that number out there, 1920, somewhere around then, there was no such thing as supermarkets. People had to get their own food. They worked for their own food. And until supermarkets came around, it was quite normal to have a garden, to get dirty, build up your immune system while doing so. And it was a very simple life. 80 to 90% on average throughout the years of the population was in agriculture. Today, it's less than 5%. Less than 5% of work is agriculture. That's a huge difference. So we're going from something that really mattered, food, essential, to something that, I'm driving a truck, which is supporting food. I don't always haul food, but, once in a while I'll haul plants or whatever, or food products, and, I'll always do it. So, technically I'm in the field, but I'm still accountable for not having my own land and stuff of that nature, which I'm working toward. I'm working on my own land, which I'm going to probably purchase in a year or two. My own land, and then my own house on that land, and then work on a garden and fruit trees and vines and all types of shit. And what happens when shit hits the fan? If shit hits the fan today, supermarkets are going to get raided. There's not going to be truckers to haul their food to the supermarkets if shit hits the fan. So there's going to be a lot of riots. People are going to run out of food quick. As I said before, look around you. How often do you just walk out in nature and there's food? Not often. Think there's enough animals to kill for everybody? No. There definitely is not enough animals for everyone to eat. People are going to start raiding the farms after that. People who do grow. And for business, they'll have acres and acres of corn or rice or you name it, whatever. They'll start raiding them because nobody prepared themselves for food. If you just started a garden instead of this expensive upkeep on grass, you'd be ahead of the curve. I can actually talk all day long about the obvious greatness from my speculation on this of food over lawns, but I do want to keep this video short or else I won't get the views, and if I don't get the views, then the information doesn't get out, and essentially I want people to start thinking. I know it's a really tough quality to have nowadays, but I will say this. When you buy your food at a supermarket, let's say bananas, all right? Just an example, they do it with all fruits and vegetables. They take it off the plant or tree, the crop itself, the fruit, let's say, the banana. They take it off the tree well before it's ripe, so it never truly ripened naturally. And when they do that, they do it because it takes, let's say, a week to make it to the supermarket. Then the supermarket, it's already still a green banana. Then you got to wait for it to ripen even more. Meaning you lost a lot of potential nutrients in that banana. That works with all fruits and vegetables. They always harvest it well before the time. Generally fruit, but vegetables as well. And when it takes that long to get to the supermarket, a lot of it's already rotted. Not to mention, a lot of these places that sell food have still lots of traces of chemicals on it. A lot of the industry is going to genetically modified foods. Now, if you bought some non-GMO seeds, organic seeds, grew it in your yard, the second you're ready for it, you pop it off the vine if it's a tomato or whatever, and it's not waiting around. It doesn't have preservatives on it and chemicals on it, and back when I can remember, if an apple falls off a tree, within like a couple months, that thing is going to start to get rotten. Nowadays, they put wax on the apple. The reasoning they put the wax on the apple is so it lasts longer and it looks better. Meaning there's no external source that's going to penetrate the wax, so a lot of people don't wash their food. You don't have to wash your food if you grow it yourself, because it's not full of wax or chemicals or anything like that. And it's much more healthy, because when you wait until it ripens and you pick it, it's at its peak nutrients. And when it's sitting around and cut early and sitting around and stuff, you're losing nutrients. Plus, it's packed full of chemicals and other shit. So the thought process of saving money, having food in abundance for dirt cheap, and there's a pleasure in it of gardening. It's a very cool aspect. I was gardening in 2013 and 2014. I was gardening, and it was just tomatoes, onions, and peppers. I had all different types of peppers, and I had a number of crops, and it lasted me a while, just those three things. Imagine if you planted a real garden, like with lots of stuff, lots of fruits, you'd be pretty much set. Where you don't have to go out and purchase food now. You're saving tons of money on not having to cut your lawn, because you turn your lawn into a garden. And there's happiness to it. There's so much to it. You're healthier after it. You don't have to buy food from a box, which, in my eyes, I just think chemical shitstorm when something comes from a box. Again, I just want to make this video short. So, I don't know. Think about it. That's Opex. I'm out.